It looked different last time.
Welcome, everybody, to Community Cooking with the Co-op. I'm Paul Addis, the reference librarian at the Coos Public Library. And tonight I have with me my partner, Tim Bulster, the outreach. What's your current title now?
Let's say marketing and outreach manager.
Marketing and outreach manager at the Co-op, but he's also our executive director at the Beat Food System that oversees the community fridge at the library and a lot of other food system programs in the community. Behind the camera, we have our cameraman, Alan Bartle. Thank you so much, Alan. And I was going to say, if you can respectfully unmute if you have questions or put questions in chat, and I'll feed them to Tim. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much, Tim. It's all yours.
Yeah. Okay. So I have my spaghetti squash here. That's where we're going to start. Speaking of the community fridge, the inspiration was we were giving away a lot of spaghetti squash a few months ago at the community fridge. And I could tell by the looks on people's faces, they weren't sure how to tackle this particular squash when they got home. So I thought it would be a good idea to show how, one way we can cook it. So we're getting the hard part out of the way. Cutting these squash is the tricky part for cooking spaghetti squash. So I scoured the internet and I found what I think is a pretty reliable way to cut these in half. So the first thing you'll do, it likes to roll, which is a problem for cutting.
I can imagine.
So if you take a towel and lay it down on your cutting board, that will at least minimize the rolling, okay? So I have a towel. I kind of folded it in half to create a little more space, spaghetti squash down. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a big knife, a big sharp knife, and I'm going to cut the stem off because the stem is the hardest part to get through. So let's just get that out of the way and get that off. So you only really need like an inch or so, of that side of the spaghetti squash. Sure. But you're going to kind of dig in. You can use a rocking motion.
And I thought I saw somebody just log on. He's cutting on the towel so it won't roll.
Yeah. Use a rocking motion, go slow, take your time, keep the other hand far away, but just keep rocking until you make it through, okay?
Awesome.
So now the stem is off. And the next step is something I learned that helped me out a lot. So what I'm going to do is take a small, sharp knife. If you only have a big one, you can use it. Just use it carefully. But if you have like a steak knife or some kind of small, sharp knife, we're going to score the spaghetti squash along the top, okay? We're basically carving a line where we're going to split it in half so we get two kind of long football-shaped sides of the spaghetti squash. So I'm going to put one hand firmly on one side. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to kind of score my way to the end of the spaghetti squash. Might do it a couple times. If you can kind of like get the knife really in there, that's going to help. But really, we're just creating a line. We're going to flip it around, put the hand on this side. Again, you're carving away from your hand. There's no way you can cut yourself or anything.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, you're going to score towards the other end of the spaghetti squash.
Okay. And I just wanted to remind everybody you should be preheating your ovens at 400 degrees.
And so now I have this line going across. I really tried to kind of push the knife in a few times just to get a little bit of depth. And then at that point, what we're going to do is take our big knife. Okay, the big guns are back out. We're just going to take the knife and go straight down in. Okay, so the knife is in, and then you're just going to turn it to the side. And if you scored it, you'll notice that when you turn it, it's already kind of like separating a little bit, which is good. Okay, you'll get about like 75% of the way down, and then it gets a little bit tough, at which point you just kind of slam it down until it gets through.
Oh, okay.
And that's through. Now I'm going to turn it around. Same thing. Put the knife in, kind of where I scored it. And then, mine just fell apart, but
nice.
You might kind of press down on that side too. And then you have two sides of the spaghetti squash. But if without scoring, you just took the knife and started trying to dig in, it gets pretty intimidating pretty fast because you knife, it wants to roll. The other thing people will do is they will poke holes in a spaghetti squash and put it in the microwave for like 2 minutes. And that kind of softens the spaghetti squash a little bit and it makes it easier to cut.
Oh,
But
okay.
my problem with that is I don't have a microwave here, and then it comes out hot, and now I'm handling a hot spaghetti squash and trying to cut. So that method I think works pretty well. So hopefully at home that worked for you too. If you have any questions, let us know. But at this point, we have the spaghetti squash in half. We have the oven preheat to 400. And basically, we are going to get the seeds and kind of this like, I don't even know what you'd call it, the kind of like web part of the inside of the spaghetti squash out. So it's kind of like a pumpkin. We're just going to carve all these seeds out. And yes, if you do want to keep the seeds and roast them, you can roast them like pumpkin seeds.
Right.
So you can do that if you want. I'm not today. I'm going to put them right in the compost bucket. That is a good option if you don't want to waste those.
Yeah.
But again, just get all the seeds out.
All the membrane.
The membrane, yeah, there's the word. The membrane out. If some's left over, it's fine. But if you haven't had spaghetti squash, I mean, it's going to be exactly what it sounds like. When this is cooked, right now it's all very firm. But when it's done, we're going to take a fork and it's like scooping spaghetti noodles out of a bowl. It's going to be really easy to get the spaghetti part of the spaghetti squash out. Okay, let me
Interesting.
do the other side here. Get all these seeds out. Have you ever had spaghetti squash, Paul? Do you cook it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, nice.
We eat a lot of
Okay.
summer squash, but I've never made spaghetti squash.
Yeah, I feel like cutting it's the hardest part.
I
At
can
this
see
point,
that.
yeah. But again, that technique I showed, I'm happy I found it was a YouTube video I found. And
Yeah, that
it,
seems much easier than trying to
yeah,
just
I was
cut
a little
through.
stressed about doing it on camera. I decided I was going to do spaghetti squash, and then I tried cutting a spaghetti squash. And I was like, oh no. All right. So have it cut in half, and we're going to put some olive oil and salt and pepper inside the spaghetti squash.
All
Okay.
right. Hey,
So,
Alan, is it possible to point the camera down at the food a little bit?
all right, we can't really see it.
Ah, there you go.
Probably a little bit more, maybe. Or I know my
Yeah.
head's
Oh,
going to be
perfect.
Cutting Tim's head
that
off.
works.
Oh,
Right
that's
there.
right. I see.
We can always go overhead. So
If you have
like that.
a
Cool.
brush or something, like a brush in the kitchen, that'll work well for this. I'm just going to pour like a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon of olive oil in here. I'm just going to use my hands to kind of move it around.
Massage
You
it
can get it
in.
up, massage it in, get it in there. I'm going to get up on the edges
Cool.
so that everything's got a little bit of olive oil on it,
Okay.
which will help it cook.
Looks like you just want to
Right.
cover all the exposed areas.
Exactly. All right. We got that. I'm going to wash this olive oil off my hands.
Cool. Everybody doing good? Everybody get their squashes cut? Awesome.
Nice. If you got the squash cut, like I said, the hard part is over. So
Yes.
we're in the clear. I mean, basically we're done. No, not really, but we're okay. So we got that. We're gonna take some salt and pepper, and you can kind of eyeball it on. I might do like a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, something like that. But you can start with less and add more later. But that's the next step. So let me grab this.
Can always add more later, but you can't take it out.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna sprinkle salt on here.
What? So
But the salt and pepper will, it's basically, on its own, the squash is pretty tasty, but the salt and pepper will add a lot. So
Nice.
I'll skip that part. All right, let me get the pepper. All right. And once you've got it oiled and salted and peppered, basically we're just going to put these face down on a baking tray, like a baking sheet, and put them in the oven. If you have parchment paper or something like that, that always helps. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll
Yeah, if
bring
you
it
have
straight.
parchment paper, it might be less cleanup later.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a tray. I've got both these spaghetti squash face down, and we're going to put them in for 45 minutes.
All right.
So I'm timer. And you'll know when it's done. One way to know when it's done. It's interesting. This outside part, the shell will start to kind of cave in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Or when you touch it, it's like,
It
it's
gives.
not firm anymore. Yeah. So that's a good sign that it's done. But
Cool.
really, I found 45 minutes is like kind of the perfect time. So it's going in the oven, 400 degrees, 45 minutes.
All right. And if everybody's throwing in now, you can just go by Tim's timer.
Yep, my timer will go off.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So that's that. Spaghetti squash cooking, and we can forget about it, which is what's nice about it. If you
Once
you
gives you
throw it in the
45
oven,
minutes to make the rest of your dinner.
give it 45 minutes to have some wine or whatever you want to do.
There you
Yes,
go.
but in our case, we're going to have the rest of our dinner here. So we're going to make our sauce now.
Okay.
So I'm going to take like a pot, something like you would make sauce in. Let me move some things here. And we're just going to start heating some olive oil up inside the pot. It'll be
Okay.
like a tablespoon of olive oil. All right.
What kind of heat are you putting that on, Tim?
I'm gonna go like medium, maybe medium high, something
Okay.
like that. Go medium high.
Okay.
And I have it like 1 to 10, and I would probably do like a 6 or a 7. So that would be a
Okay.
medium high. So let me heat this up first, actually. Give that a second to heat up, and then we'll pour some olive oil in. And
You want
we're
your
gonna put
pot?
our onion in.
You want
Once
your
the
pot
olive
hot
oil
before you do the oil?
Yeah. So
Okay.
right now I'm letting the pot heat up. I haven't put the oil in yet, but I will in a second. And if you want to get your onion out, you can get some garlic out too. In a second, we'll work on these two things. Okay.
Excellent.
The recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic for the sauce, which we're about to make, 3 cloves for the salad. In retrospect, 3 cloves seems like a lot for the salad. So if you want to add more garlic to your sauce, that's what I might do right now. I think I'm going to go 5 cloves of garlic for the sauce, and I'll save 2 for the salad dressing that we'll make later.
Sounds good.
So about a tablespoon of olive oil is going in. Swirl that around a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to take our onion here, and we're just going to, dice it up.
All
So usually
right.
I cut the ends off first, which kind of gives me a flat surface to cut on. And obviously we don't want to eat the ends, so say goodbye to those. Now the onion's flat, and I cut it in half, which gives me a new flat surface that I then lay down. And I remove kind of the waxy outer part and whatever of the outside might still be there. And with the flat side down, basically what I like to do is I'll dice it kind of like long ways. So I'll dice the onion up long ways here. I think Alan's going to bring it in. Boom, and I try and keep it all together. That's all diced, and then I just go the opposite direction. Careful, it kind of wants to slide around. Sometimes I'll flip it again. Boom, okay. That's diced up enough for me.
And Mitch, we have about a tablespoon of olive oil in the hot pot, and he's just starting to dice the onion. I noticed you're having some trouble coming in and out.
Yeah.
And so you're putting that whole onion in there, right, Tim?
Yep.
Okay.
Dice up the onion, and that is going in. We're going to give that, maybe 4 to 5 minutes in here. Just enough time to kind of become translucent, as they say.
All right.
A little less white, a little more clear. Give it some time to soften up. While that's cooking, if you're ready, we'll get a few cloves of garlic chopped up too. So I'm going to move this onion a little bit around in here. nice and coated in the oil. Leave that. And then what did I say? I think we're going to do 5 cloves of
I
garlic.
think you said 5 for the sauce and 2 for the salad.
Nice. Cool.
Cloves, that is.
All right. So basically with the cloves, all I'll do is I'll take the clove, lay it down, put the knife on top, and just press it so it breaks a little bit, and then the peel pops right off. And then I just, oops. Okay. And then at this point, I just kind of, mince it up, dice it up as small as I can. I don't really love big chunks of garlic. And I don't have perfect knife technique, so I just use one hand and keep the other one away.
Play it safe.
Yeah, play it safe.
I
Keep
hear
all
you.
fingers and everything happy. Just mince that up. Boom, there's one. Gonna do the same thing for 5. And again, what I like about this recipe is there's just kind of a lot of opportunity for you to modify it for yourself. Obviously, if you don't love garlic, do 3 cloves of garlic or something like that.
Yeah.
But same thing with the sauce we're about to make. This is going to be like a marinara sauce. If you're like me and you keep a lot of jars of pasta sauce in the pantry, then you don't need to make your own sauce. But it's good to know how to whip something up like this if you need to.
So do you keep jars of sauce you made?
No, I keep it. No. Stuff I bought at the grocery store. Yeah. But like, pesto could go great with this.
Yeah.
There's all different kinds of sauce that would work great for a recipe like this.
Would it be good with like an Alfredo type sauce?
I was just thinking that. I don't see why not.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting.
Okay, the onion is cooking pretty nicely.
There's something to be said about a homemade sauce, though.
There is. And, when it's homemade, you can modify it. Now you can modify the sauce. How spicy do you want it?
I feel like when you home make a sauce like this too, you can taste the garlic better. Like it's more just fresh,
Yeah. And like in the co-op right now, we just got in like fresh thyme from a local farmer. And like, when we have fresh basil in the co-op, it's like when it's fresh like that, it just doesn't compare to
Yeah, you can't beat it.
to the jarred stuff or the dry spices. All right. Onion, I think, is ready. My onion, at least, is ready for the garlic.
And how do folks know their onion's ready, Tim?
Again, like it should kind of become a little bit translucent, a little less like stark white, like the onion is. Mine's also browning a little bit, which is not exactly. I don't want it to brown too much.
Sure.
I'm throwing the garlic in. And we're going to give this like a minute now.
Okay.
The onion and the garlic are in there. I'm going to add just a little more oil to mine, just because it seems like it's all evaporated.
I like to get my pan a little brown from the onion.
Which it is right now.
Yeah, I like to get a little brown on there, and then we add a little bit of water to get all that off the bottom of the pan.
Right.
Yeah.
Deglazing, they call it, right?
Yes. And then
What do they call it?
flavor.
Deglazing.
Oh, yeah,
Deglazing.
deglazing.
Yeah. A lot of people use wine for that, or like something like that, right?
I use a lot of wine for these.
Yes. Okay, so we're just giving the garlic a second to kind of cook a little bit. And what's going to go in a second is the can of crushed tomatoes.
Okay.
So I've got the tomatoes right here. Got your can opener. Go ahead and open your can up. Think just about ready for the tomatoes.
All right.
Go ahead and dump it in.
How's it smelling in there, Alan?
Smell good. I love garlic and onion.
Yeah, you can't beat garlic and onions.
Okay. And then what I like to do sometimes is put a little water in the can and just get all the remnants of tomato out of there. It'll also make the sauce just, not quite as thick, which I like. So a little bit of water in there. And we're going to bring it to a boil and then turn it down to a simmer and forget this while we make our salad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Oh, and our spices.
Spices. Oh,
Yeah, can't forget those. So I have basil and thyme here.
Oh, right.
I'll 2 tablespoons of each one into the
Okay.
sauce. Open this up. Which way did I twist this? You know how you can. There we go. All right. Oops. All right. And again, it's also one of those things you can add more later, basil and thyme. You can taste as you go. So you could start with a tablespoon and a half. And then as you go, taste it and see if it needs a little bit more flavor. I also put as optional on there like red pepper flakes, chili flakes.
Oh, yeah.
Little of those go a long way, but I do
Yeah.
add those. It adds just a little bit of spice, which is, for me, I like, but optional. You do you.
Yeah.
And this is also protein option is something I kind of left up to you. Again, this is like a base recipe. This is something that you can make pretty easily and then you can modify. When I made it a few nights ago, I put Italian seitan just right in the sauce. And so I cooked Italian seitan with it. If you were going to
just put it right in the sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Ground beef, if you want to do some ground beef, you could cook that on the stove or that could go in the sauce too. Yeah, there's a lot of options, whatever you like.
Make it your own.
Make it your own. All right. Mine's boiling a little bit. So I'm going to turn it down to like a low. Only to cover this if I can find a cover for this pot over there. So I'll just take a look.
Might have to grab a big plate or something.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Sounds like
This might work.
like the right one.
Bam.
Oh, perfect.
That is the cover for the pot. Cool.
Sweet.
All right. So we're going to give that now like 25 minutes.
Okay.
Perfect. We have 30 minutes on our squash. So these two things will kind of finish at the same time.
Nice.
Check on it every once in a while. Just make sure it is in fact simmering or that it's not boiling too hard. You just want it to keep cooking. You don't want it to go over.
But at more of a simmer, right?
At more of a simmer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Let's see. This is a good moment to clean up a little bit if you need to.
Cool.
I tend to be a frantic, messy cook sometimes in the kitchen. Taking seconds like this to kind of clear some space is good. So I'm going to do that.
Less to do later.
Less to do later. Exactly. All right. But the next step will be our salad.
Okay.
So that would be the kale and the lemon for the dressing. And then again, this is the kind of salad you could add a lot of things to. I put a bunch of optional things on the recipe. I grabbed cherry tomatoes, which I like in this particular salad a lot.
Nice.
I like carrots in salad a lot. So I grabbed one of those too.
Me too.
So grab your salad bowl and let's see. The first thing we will do, I think we'll start with the dressing. Let's do that. So we're going to get olive oil and lemon, garlic, and salt and pepper for the dressing. For the dressing, we are using 1/4 cup of olive oil. We can do that first.
1/4?
1/4.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. 4 cups of olive oil. No, 1/4.
We're just gonna drink it.
Enough dressing for
Just
2 weeks.
drown the salad in. All right. Olive oil in the bowl. I have basically found, I think it calls for, half a cup or 1/4 cup of lemon juice, which I found was basically half a lemon. So
Okay.
half a lemon is a pretty safe bet. It makes it pretty lemony,
Nice.
which is good.
Yeah.
It's also what I found too when I made this is I didn't need all the dressing in the salad. So like the nice thing is you can kind of put some dressing in, try it. If you want more flavor, you can add more dressing.
Nice.
Okay. So 1/4 olive oil in there. I'm gonna squeeze half a lemon into the bowl. At which point I will need to fish a few seeds out of this bowl, as tends to happen with lemons. All right. Okay. And now we can throw in our garlic. So if you have 2 cloves of garlic left, you can chop those up and we will mince them up and we'll throw it in the dressing. I have somehow managed with 1 big clove of garlic left that I think will be perfect for me.
Cool. Charmaine said, loving this. Thanks. You're welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you. All right. Garlic, it's minced. I feel like for salad dressing, mincing it as small as you can is kind of nice because you definitely don't want a big mouthful of garlic.
Plus, you got 5 cloves in the marinara.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can never have too much garlic.
This is true.
All right. Cool. I'm throwing my minced garlic in the bowl. Bada bing, bada boom. And then the final thing is salt and pepper, which I didn't put amounts here, but I would probably do like maybe half a tablespoon of salt and like a 1/4 tablespoon of pepper. Usually I eyeball it. I sprinkle some salt, I sprinkle some pepper, and it's all good. So don't put too much.
Let's start with a tea and you can cook your way along.
Right. Yeah. Again, yeah, start with a little, add more if you need it.
Yep.
So first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab another spoon here. Reach into this. All right. Sprinkling,
Good.
salt. Same thing with pepper. And as you can see, it's a very simple dressing. Almost like really 3, 4 ingredients in this.
Nice.
All right. Cool. Salt and pepper in there.
So right now it's the olive oil, the lemon, the salt, and the pepper.
And the garlic.
Oh, and the garlic, of course.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to whisk this up. I always use a fork, whatever. You can use a spoon, whatever you want, just to get this all combined together.
Nice.
All right. Give this a little sample. It's good to me. If you wanted more lemon, you can add more lemon. If it's too lemony, you can add a little bit more olive oil. This seems good to me. So,
nice.
Dressing can be put to the side, and now we'll build the salad. So we got our kale.
So folks should get a big bowl for the salad.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Take a big salad bowl out. Get this. I went with the Lasiento kale. You know, there's the green curly kind of kale too, which is great.
Lacinato.
Lacinato. What did I say?
Something else.
Okay. That's why you're here. Yeah, thanks.
I just know because I use that one all the time.
Yeah, this one's good.
Good in soup.
Okay. One good way to cut kale, because you have this thick stem here, basically, is I will just take the kale and I will hold it and I will kind of like shave the leaf right off the stem.
Oh,
One leaf off. And the other leaf off. And now I just
I might have to try that. I always tear it off and it takes a little longer.
Yeah, tearing takes, or sometimes I try and like surgically cut, and sometimes that, I just kind of want to be able to move quickly.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying that the next time I make my kale soup.
Nice. And probably these stems you can keep and make stock out of it at home or something. Again, trying not to be wasteful. We've got our compost bucket, so it won't exactly waste. All right, working through here. Some work better for tearing, some work better for shaving.
Mm-hmm.
Do you make your kale salad a lot, Paul? It's gone. Well,
Yeah, in the winter.
nice.
We've been making a kale turmeric salad. It's really good.
We used to have a nutritionist who would come to these shows, and she would probably have a lot to say right now about the health benefits of kale.
Yes.
I don't remember any of the health benefits.
So I'm trying to remember because she did the kale and beet recipe, and there's something about kale and beets and nitrates, which I can't remember.
Right? Yeah, something with nitrates.
And I know it has something to do with being good for your blood pressure. And I don't think you have nitrates in you. I think they make them or something. I don't know. I should stop talking.
That all sounded accurate to me.
But ever since then, I feel like I need to eat more kale and beets for my health.
Yeah.
Just forgot the exact reason.
Yeah.
Then again, you could have thrown out any real like sciencey health terminology, and if you said it confidently, I think I would have been
Right.
Nitrates, nitrates, right?
Oh, Karen said nitric oxide. Thank you, Karen.
Nice. All right, I'm down to my last kale here.
Plus all the good fiber from kale.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a dark leafy green. How can it be bad?
Okay. Health-wise, I don't think you can go wrong there.
No. All right. Kale, I like to chop up pretty small. I don't love huge.
Karen also added that it's great for dilating blood vessels.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right. So dice the kale up. Again, you definitely want, bite-sized pieces of this.
Right.
Big enough that you can stab it with a fork, but not too big that it's going to be over. That all looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm going to throw this in the bowl. And then this is where you might do something different. I'm going to half a bunch of cherry tomatoes to put in here. If you have some other vegetable, cucumber would be good. Lots of options.
Yeah.
I think I just like the red and the green together in the bowl. I think it looks nice. So I'm going to do that.
The orange should add some color too from the carrots.
And you'll see, I like to shred my carrots,
Oh, you do.
grated carrots.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that, but I could be just chopping the carrot up either way.
I kind of like the crunch of the carrot in my salad.
You like the crunch, the carrot. Yeah, I find it a bit much for me personally.
Interesting.
Each their own. All right. I'll go one more tomato. I remember when we were talking about that nutritionist, Stephanie, when she came and made a kale salad, I think she put cranberries in it, raisins or something, and that works great too.
Yeah. Lately, I've been putting these dried tart cranberries on my salad. Oh man, it's good.
Yeah. All right. And then let me get a carrot real quick. Where did I put it? It's on the other side.
It's over there on the other side of the bowl. I was gonna say I can see it from here.
Let's go to the Explorer. Where's my carrot? Do you see it? All right. And then, I have one of these pellets, basically a cheese grater, and I'm just going to shred the carrot or grate the carrot up right into the bowl. But again, whatever you want. You could chop the carrot up, whatever you want. Okay, if
Cool.
you're not
Julian. The Julian.
yes. What is
Right,
Julie?
right.
Or slice it kind of thin and then chop it into little twigs.
Okay.
For Paul to crunch.
Usually what I do is I shred the carrot like this, and then I chop up the rest, and then I have carrot sticks to eat while I wait for the rest of the dinner.
There you go.
Okay, that's probably enough. All right. So I have all the vegetables that I want in my bowl right now. I'm just going to check my sauce, which is indeed simmering nicely. If I stop stirring, you'll see it's, small bubbles there simmering up.
Nice.
So that's perfect. Now I'm just going to take a look at the spaghetti squash too. It should need more time. Yeah, still looks, like it did when I put it in, but we're getting pretty close with the spaghetti squash. So probably that timer will go off. Yeah, with 20 more minutes for that.
Okay.
Okay. So the next step here is we're going to add our dressing. The thing about kale is that you really want to massage the dressing into the kale. You kind of want to break down the kale a little bit. So right now it's kind of a light green. I'm going to add my dressing in, and I'm going to take, what I like to do is take two, something for the salad, and just really press it together, massage the kale, and work the dressing in so that it becomes softer and kind of breaks down. So
You don't use your hands?
no, only because I would, but then my hands are gonna get all oily.
I know. It'd be kind of messy.
That's your style. If you like to get a little messy with it, go for it. I'm gonna put half the dressing in.
Okay.
Start with half. Massage that in.
So you really want to press on that kale, right?
Yeah, really press it together. Shove it down against the sides of the bowl. You should, as it just gets kind of soaked in the dressing and starts to break down, it should turn kind of like a darker green, which is a good sign.
Nice.
And it's almost like when you cook spinach. I mean, it's not going to be that intense, but, you should find a little more room in the bowl.
I guess you're tossing the dressing in there at the same time.
Yeah, exactly right.
Getting it evenly distributed there.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, did everything just freeze? Hello?
Yeah, it froze on my end too.
Oh, Tim. Oh, man, we can't see Tim. Okay. I thought it was me.
No, Paul, it's not. There's
Wait,
Tim back.
there he
Yeah, I'm
is.
out.
Tim, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, the screen did say internet connection is unstable.
Okay, he's
Notice
back,
that.
folks.
I'm back. Okay. Hopefully cross.
We might have missed whatever happened in the last few seconds, Tim. You were still just tossing, right?
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't freeze in a real ugly position.
No. You disappeared for a second.
God, that's good. That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything. I was still kind of tossing the salad. I said I tasted it just to make sure that the dressing was enough for me, which I added a little bit more dressing into mine.
Okay.
So, boom. And once you
Working
feel
that
like
in.
you've got enough dressing and you've really massaged the kale, your salad is good to go. Okay.
Nice.
The salad is done. The sauce is cooking here. I think in a moment, I'm going to just check on the spaghetti squash. If you have a really big, hearty spaghetti squash, it should take about 45 minutes. It might take a little bit longer. If you have a smaller one, it could be pretty close to done.
Okay.
But I'll pull it out and I'll show you kind of what I mean by how I'll check to see if it's finished or not.
And Tim, should folks check their sauce and make sure it's just at a simmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check
Okay.
it out, make sure it's still simmering away. Again, I'm just gonna wipe down my little area here. All right. I haven't had a ton of questions, so hopefully I'm not going too fast.
I know. Does anybody have any questions? I think everybody's just moving along at home. Yeah, everybody looks good. Mitch, you doing good? All right.
It's the kind of recipe that, yeah, it keeps you busy. You got different things to do.
Yep. Everybody's keeping busy from what I can see. Those with
Yeah.
your cameras off, let us know if you have any questions or need any help.
But again, you know, if you have your own sauce at home in a jar or something like that, like this recipe gets easier, you know,
Sure,
because
sure.
just spaghetti squash in and maybe you make a salad and heat up some sauce or something and you're all good. But
Patricia said, looking good so far. Charmaine said, looks great. Nummy.
nice,
Awesome.
nice. I can't wait to get the spaghetti squash and show you the way it really just, I mean, a lot of you probably know, but it really just turns into spaghetti.
That's awesome.
gonna
I'm
pull
looking
it out.
forward to it. I saw the finished product picture, but I want to see how it.
Nice. I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
mine out right now and just take a look. You don't have to pull yours out if you don't want to, but if you want to check on it, it's a good time.
All right.
All right. So it needs more time, but compared to before, you might not be able to see. But like if I really wanted to, I could push through.
Yeah, it looks like it's given a little.
So, you know, I think it needs probably 5 or so more minutes at least. I think I might even flip it over just to take a quick look at what the other side looks like. Just out of curiosity. Nice. Okay, I bet if I took a fork right now and tried, it'll start to turn into spaghetti, but I'm gonna leave it.
Cool. Cool. Almost there.
Yeah, almost there. So I'm gonna, yeah, I think really for mine about 5 more minutes is what I'll do. Okay. So again, good time to do some dishes and get yourself ready because once
Yeah.
that comes out, we'll be plating, we'll be eating basically. So you can get your plate ready,
Yeah.
put a few things away, salt and pepper here, and these away, olive oil away.
So does what's the flavor of the spaghetti squash? Is it sweet or savory?
It's sweet, I think, but
But not
No.
like super sweet.
no, it's kind of sweet like a delicata squash maybe, or
Right, right.
you know. But the best part about it, I think, it doesn't have a ton of flavor of its own. So you can put sauce and things on it, and it's not gonna. And it kind of really mimics spaghetti. You don't feel like you're eating some kind of weird squash with sauce on it. You know,
It kind of feels like you're eating pasta.
it feels like you're eating pasta. So
Wow, cool.
gluten free. This is a great spaghetti squash. It's a great thing to keep around if you have friends or things where gluten free that you cook for sometimes.
It covers everything. It's gluten free, dairy free, vegan. You know, it's like,
Healthy, yeah, right.
And remember, 5 cloves of garlic.
5 cloves. Yeah. Lock that. How to cut the spaghetti squash away in your mind because that's going to be the most intimidating part.
yes, yeah.
As you saw, it doesn't happen. Stir sauce a little bit.
Sauce is smelling really good.
Nice.
I bet. It's probably torture in there.
Cool. Yeah. Almost there.
Cool. Let's see. Everybody doing good at home? Everybody looks busy. Cool. Thanks,
Yeah,
Melissa.
there was a while in the community fridge where I feel like for a straight month we got spaghetti squash every single week. And they were big spaghetti squash too.
Yeah, some of them were quite large.
And you get a lot of spaghetti out of a small spaghetti squash, you know? So if you picked a small spaghetti squash, I think you'll be impressed with the amount of spaghetti that you'll get out of the insides. So the big ones are nice, but you don't really need a big, huge one to feed even 3 or 4 people. A medium-sized one will be fine.
Will be plenty. Nice.
Yeah.
Charmaine said, just want to comment. I have cooked with spaghetti squash for many years and always so tasty. Thanks for offering this learning space for others. Always garlic in my kitchen. Yeah, likewise, Charmaine. Likewise.
What would be a kitchen without
Thank
that?
you.
Sad day.
A sad kitchen, yes.
Yeah.
Invite your friends over.
I feel like I buy garlic weekly.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking at my timer. I'm gonna give mine 1 more minute.
Cool.
Pull it out. But again, this again will, depending on how big your squash is, how hot your oven is, it'll depend. But
Yeah.
if on the back you can kind of create an indent, I mean, and on its own, when you'll know it's done, is that indent will kind of form on its own. You almost won't even need to push on it. You'll open the oven and see that the back of the squash
It'll
has
start to cave in.
caved in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's, ours is probably done and it hasn't quite caved yet. It's fine.
Laura asked if there will be more of these squash available soon in the library produce case. We're not sure, Laura, because this comes from our weekly pickups that we don't know what we're getting till we get there every week. So we get more of them in winter. So I'm thinking the season might be over. We did see some kind of late in the season because isn't it more of a winter squash, Tim?
Well, I would have thought so, but here at the co-op, we have them all year long. And when I asked the produce manager, they were like, "Oh no, we have spaghetti squash all year." So,
And we had it like a week or so ago, right?
yeah. And Alan pointed out they store well, so that helps too.
Yeah. So
I think
fingers crossed, Laura, we see more at the fridge, but we can't guarantee it.
One step I forgot that we can do right now, if you're kind of waiting, is Parmesan.
Oh, yeah.
I with the vegan Parmesan to keep things vegan for the show, but at home I just use the regular Parmesan. We're gonna put some on the salad, and then we'll be able to put some on the squash too, or like on the finished product. Once you put the sauce on top of the squash, you can put some Parmesan cheese on top of that. So
Is that Violife or?
This is the Violife, yeah, vegan Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
I'm gonna do like maybe a little more than a half a cup's worth of Parmesan cheese. We're trying to say shred, right?
If you do eat dairy, they do have good Parmesan at the co-op. I use it for my spaghetti all the time.
Yeah, I tried a little bit of this and it's good, but real Parmesan, it's hard to do.
I know it's hard to beat.
Still, I feel like it's easier now than it used to be to be vegan.
Yeah.
And gluten free, and
Well, a lot of stuff you can eat and not know, man. Like
yeah,
this ice cream I eat now, it tastes almost better than real ice cream. But 20 years ago, you could not find a vegan ice cream that would tasted good.
Okay, I'm gonna take maybe about a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese and add it to the salad.
Oh, okay.
That'll be good. It's gonna add kind of some nuttiness to the salad.
Cool.
Mix that around. Again, put as much as you want. If you really like, if you think you're really gonna like that flavor, add more. All right.
Are you gonna put some on your spaghetti squash too?
And I'm saving some for the spaghetti squash. Yes.
Figured.
Okay. Which I think I'm gonna take out of the oven now. So I'm gonna pull that out. Do some things here.
Also want to give Tim props for doing this on his own tonight. As most of you know, he's usually more like facilitating in the kitchen than cooking. So thank you, Tim. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Yes. Student has become the master, as they say.
It's awesome.
Okay. We're going to flip this over. I mean, we cook a lot of vegetarian, vegan recipes at home. So it's fun. I like it.
Awesome.
We appreciate
it.
Yeah. Okay. So what I like to do is keep one glove on a hand because we got to be able to handle these a little bit. But basically, let's hope this just comes right out. If I take the fork and just start pulling at it,
Oh yeah.
it all just turns into
Looks kind of like noodles.
basically, you know.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
work your fork through there. And, you know, some people might just eat right out of the shell, but of course it's hot. So what I'm going to do is put it into a bowl.
Sure. Oh yeah, I guess you could just throw your sauce on there.
Right, you could. But again, you know, the shell itself is pretty. So, okay,
Sure.
do both of them right now.
Cool.
All right.
So is this something you make often?
You know, honestly, we've made spaghetti squash at home before, but it was thinking about all the spaghetti squash we were getting at the library that made me want to make a recipe for community cooking,
Cool.
which really forced me at home to like really think about spaghetti squash for the first time. I feel like I was not the one in the kitchen taking the lead on the spaghetti squash in the past. So now I know how to cook spaghetti squash. This is great.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab a plate. I'm gonna start plating this up.
Cool. Now you were
Right.
saying if you add a vegan protein, you usually add like seitan.
Yeah, we always keep some Italian seitan. We have the Upton's Italian seitan here at the co-op. We always just keep some in the freezer. And then whenever we make pasta or any kind of Italian dish, that might be our protein, or we might do like they have vegan sausages, you know, we might do one of those.
Cool.
When I first made this, I didn't have any of that stuff, and I used tempeh, and it was good. You know, can't really go wrong. It wasn't the perfect protein for this recipe.
Sure.
It was good. All right,
Nice.
ladle. And I'll turn my sauce off now. I think that's all done.
Oh yeah, and before people start signing off to eat, please send me emails of send me pictures of your completed meals via email. Everybody has my email in their Zoom confirmations.
Yeah.
Would you tell me how you tell the spaghetti squash is done?
Yeah. So the shell, you know, we cooked them upside down, shell side face up. And if the shell caves in really easily when you touch it, or if it's caving in on its own, then you know it's done. So if you press on it and it just caves pretty easily, then it's done. If it's giving some resistance, you might give it another 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
So it's up to you.
Charmaine said the best time to purchase spaghetti squash is in the fall season, freshest in September and October. Oh, okay. But could be year round according to your produce availability. She said it lasts 1 to 3 months once purchased, but that depends on when it was crop cultivated, of course. Thanks, Charmaine.
Yeah, thank you. All right. And salad is on the plate.
Nice.
I think at this point, I'll get the camera above.
Nice.
Got a good look at that. So we got the spaghetti squash, the sauce, and the kale salad.
Very cool. That looks pretty hearty without a protein.
Yeah, I know. The thing is about spaghetti squash, I find, is that if you're thinking spaghetti when you're eating it, without the gluten that comes in spaghetti, like sometimes a slice of bread will go good with this, or something,
Right.
because it's not going to quite have the same effect that pasta does in terms of filling you up.
Right.
And if you want that kind of effect of being super full at the end of your meal, then some bread or something like that will be nice. But
you can always add more garlic and have garlic bread.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Any questions? Anyone that's kind of stuck at any point, or some of you might be waiting for your spaghetti squash to finish up, which
looks like a lot of folks might be waiting for the squash to finish. Oh, Molly fixed your camera.
oh yeah, nice job, Molly.
Are you waiting on squash, Molly? I can't hear you. You're muted. Wait, unmute.
Unmute.
There you go.
Yeah, no, mine's all done.
Oh, nice.
Salad's done. My spaghetti squash is done.
Nice. Well, don't let us keep you if you're all done.
Yeah, go ahead and eat it.
She hasn't cleaned. She still needs to fucking clean.
That's your job, Chris. You're gonna have to clean up now. Yeah, no, if you guys are ready, please sign off and go eat.
Yeah.
But
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
thanks, Melissa.
I
You good?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Mitch. Mitch, are you still waiting on your squash?
I'm still waiting on the squash.
Okay.
Okay. You should be almost.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, you good, or do you want us to wait?
Oh, he's good.
Oh, he's good. Okay.
Go on.
Bye, Molly.
Bye,
Thanks
Molly.
again.
So much.
What was that?
I said thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you for joining us. I'll see you
right.
tomorrow.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Patricia said thank you. I happen to love this one. Thanks, Patricia. Charmaine
Nice.
said thank you. And Christina, you're still waiting on squash, right? You're muted.
Yes, I'm waiting on my squash, but the salad's all done. The sauce is all done. And I wanted to thank you. When I started watching you guys is during the time when my husband had Alzheimer's.
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't go anywhere, and it was really nice to Zoom it and be able to do something fun and
Thank
still
you.
stay home. So thank you.
Yeah, like I said earlier, we'll always try to be here for you at least once a month.
Well, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that feedback. That's great. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
That's awesome. Suzanne said thank you. It looks like it'll be fabulous. Awesome.
Great.
Well, are you good, Christina, or do you want us to wait? You're good? Okay. Charmaine, you good? Charmaine said, Christine Breeze? Question mark. And she said, yes, exclamation. Oh, that was to me, probably.
I am okay with it tonight. It's great. Thank you so much.
Great.
What were you asking about, Christine?
Oh, because I used to work at the Breeze.
And this is actually Christina.
Okay. Well, Christina. Okay. She looked familiar, and I used to work at Breeze, the thrift store in Coquille for breast cancer awareness. And she just looked like one of my customers.
Right.
I was just reaching out and saying hi. So anyway, I love the program tonight.
You're right. I do shop there a lot.
Oh,
Christina, I love you.
cool.
I miss you, sweetheart. I moved back to California. You and I can contact later, but I miss Breeze. But thank you. Yeah, see, here we are.
Cool.
Woohoo!
Small
All right.
world, huh?
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Especially Tim, Alan, thank you so much.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, Paul.
All right, we'll see you guys later.